Sundays. So last Sunday we were here. Next Sunday maybe we were not able to because, as I said, Aaron has something from his school, so we need to go there. But otherwise, we make the plan that Sunday we have reserved for Krishna. So last we go. But you're right, it's nearly 2 hours. And if you get stuck, so last time when we went on M25, we were stuck for 2.5 hours. And it was late. Kids actually, they missed their sessions because of the traffic and all. But still, we had a great time. We met all of the devotees. We spent some good time, and the kids were happy as well. So it's worth it. But of course,
it's worth it. Yesterday, Godurma Prabhuji was telling that they were coming by M25, and there was a crash, so they had to have a detour. So this is a problem with the M25. You never know. And going through the city, there's traffic. So either way, it's a lot of time. Tomorrow, we are going to the temple for Sutapa Prabhuji's sannyas ceremony. And I was just telling my sister that we have to leave at around 7 o'clock.
That will be really nice, Mataji.
Yes, we
I think that will be great. Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss it. And that's why I met him last Sunday. But yes. I will see if I can come because it's going to stay there for long. And later in the day also, they are thinking to do a Sangha. And both Sutapa Prabhuji and Maharajji, I think they are going out in the Sankirtan street party, they call it.
So that is today, Prabhuji.
Is it today?
That street party in Watford High Street is today.
Yes. Ah, okay. Well, Sankirtan Priya Prabhuji was telling me. So it's today, so I got to miss it.
Yes, today. Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. So good to have your association. Let's start our session. Right. Okay. Before I forget that today we will have a relatively shorter session because at 10 o'clock I need to join another meeting where I need to introduce one of the Maharajis, Bhakti Vigyana, Narsimha Maharajji. He's doing Bhakti Shastri course for the temple. So I'm one of the coordinators, so I need to be there to introduce. So very quickly, let's do the Mangala Charan and we shall resume back our mantra of 5 and maybe, or definitely, next week we will conclude mantra 5 of Shri Īśopaniṣad. But let's have the Mangala Charan, take the blessings. Om. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanajnanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, Bhakta Vrind ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhesh. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. So Shri Īśopaniṣad, we started with the invocation, then the first 3 verses. That's the theme of 4 verses, invocation and the first 3 verses, where we have seen how we can live in harmony with Ishwar and what happens if we are not spiritually aligned. Then the next segment of Shri Īśopaniṣad from mantra 4 to 8, where the Ishwar could be, remember this is Shri Īśopaniṣad, so it's directly about Ishwar. The Ishwar can be understood by spiritual vision only. As we have seen that Krishna gave the spiritual vision to Arjun in Mahabharata, so he could see his universal form in chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita. Then 4 to 8 subdivided, where we are on the first segment, where it says 4 to 5 verses, that it's very, very, very difficult to see, understand, observe, and feel Krishna because Krishna is spiritual and our senses, they are material. So a lot of places it has been explained that our senses are material, our body is material. So this is the gross body we can see. Then we have the subconsciousness, we have the subtle body where mind, intelligence, and false ego, these 3 things. And sometimes we call consciousness, in Sanskrit we call it chitta. So chitta and chaitya, they also come into that, but that's the subtle part of it. But definitely this body what we can see is the gross body, and the senses we have, the eyes, nose, they all are gross senses and we cannot rely on them. And I always give the example, I'm wearing glasses, which means I can't rely on my own eyes because they're defective. And even then we can get illusion. So in the beginning we saw that how easy it is to get illusion. Somebody on the phone we sometimes think, oh, it's someone else, it's not us. So we have to really, really think about it. So going forward, this is what we're going to see, that how Krishna is inconceivable. So mantra 4 we have seen, and mantra 5 is there. And I think the verses were going when we joined, and this is the verse. Hopefully we can see that and hear that.
Tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bahyataha tadejati tannaijati taddure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bahyataha.
Hare Krishna. So I will share this recitation. There are some beautiful recitations there. Let me just share here. So if anyone would like to go through Shri Īśopaniṣad, it says even if we don't understand Sanskrit and we still go for it, we still hear it, there's a lot to gain from it. And this is what we can understand when we see this. So again, the verse, we have seen the verses in detail. The meaning of each and every word is there by Srila Prabhupada ji. So that's there on the website. Now, if we go through, which we did, this is from Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji, who loves dissecting the purpose of Srila Prabhupada ji, and that's what he has done. Now, we have gone through all of them. And the main things here are that Krishna, when the verse says that Krishna, or let's say Ishwar, Tad is for Ishwar, like he is not far, he's not near, he's inside and he's outside, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere, he does not walk and he walks. So it's very hard for us to understand. And that's why we need the acharyas like Srila Prabhupada ji and his, or the way we say, the Shishya, Guru Shishya Parampara, or the disciple succession. And we need to understand things we might not able to understand just literally by the Sanskrit. So this is what it says, even if somebody has the knowledge of Sanskrit, knowledge of the language, still the person will not able to understand what the meaning behind the verses. And these are only 18 verses in this one Upanishad, right? And there are some other Upanishads which are even smaller than that. So they are so compactful. Similar thing in Bhagavad Gita, that Bhagavad Gita is full of commandments. Why we should do that. Of course, there are 700 verses and we can try understanding a lot from it. But still, if you think about it, there are so many. There are so many things which we understand from devotees association. We understand from acharyas. They explain what is the hidden meaning behind it. And we can understand, most of us, we have kids. Kids, they go to the school, the teacher explains them a lot of things. And then the realization. So Aaron is going to go on a trip to learn a lot more about flowers, because this is what they've been learning in the school. So that's the theory. But when they will go there, the flowers, he would have seen those flowers a lot more in his life before. But when he will go with the teacher, and teacher will ask them, teacher will give the instructions, then Aaron will able to realize those things that he never realized before. And even we wouldn't have realized, because we didn't do that kind of teaching when we were growing up. So we do need those teachers. So that's material learning biology from the biology teacher going in the garden. But here we are discussing spiritual knowledge. When materially we need a teacher, then how could we think that spiritually we can learn everything without a spiritual teacher or the association? So that there are, when we say guru, there are two different kinds of gurus. One is the Diksha Guru, who initiates you in the Sampradaya, but there is another one who's called Siksha Guru. And Siksha Guru, so Diksha Guru is only one, and Siksha Gurus could be as many as possible. So somebody, so in Bhagavatam, Canto 11, there is a mention that there is a Brahmin who says that I have 24 unique gurus, and he says the spider is a guru for me because I've learned so much from a spider. Then those 24 are Siksha Guru. We have been learning, we have learned something from them. And this is what we need to remember, that spiritually, whatever we learn, we should always discuss. So when you come around and we have a discussion, that I learn a lot from you. So as a part of the group, we learn from each other. And that is the main difference when we learn alone and when we learn with the association. So association is very, very, very important. So it says ABC of Krishna consciousness. So A stands for association. Then B for Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So we need to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, many more scriptures. But first we need to learn them in association. We get into association, and definitely if we are in the right association will take us towards the B, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and then C for chanting. D, we could say the diet, the prasadam we eat. And if we just follow these basic principles, then we will see whatever we are doing, whichever profession we are in, we don't really need to change anything, but still all our activities will be spiritualized. We will see the hand of Krishna in everything, because we are still going to drink the water. And we will see, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I'm the taste in water. We will see when we are so glad that sun is out, we feel blessed. And Krishna says, that's me. The sunlight is me. So anything and everything we do in our life, whenever something happens, we can see energy of Krishna. And this is very well explained in this verse, that everything is the energy of Krishna. So Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Those who joined a bit late. In the beginning, I said that today I need to join another meeting. So 5 more minutes, and then I'm afraid we will have to cut short today's session, and we will resume back next Saturday to complete mantra 5. So absolute truth, we say, which is for Krishna, is not illogical. So it's hard for us to understand, and we think it's illogical. How come this happened? So somebody, no human could walk on the water. No, it's illogical. You're gonna fall down. But some yogis, they have proven they can. Now we say this is not illogical. Of course, it's illogical for us because our logic is based on our material senses. Our material senses are imperfect. So that's why what's logic, what's illogical is very restricted for us. And something which is illogical for me might be logical for someone else. So it's very hard to say that it's absolute illogical, which means wherever you go, it's illogical. So a lot of time we take the example of sun, that somebody in India, or at the same time in Russia, in America, in London, everybody will look out and say, this is the same sun. And that's so true. It is the same sun. But the sunshine falling on us could be different. Sunshine falling on me could be different than sunshine falling on you. So we can also say it's a different sun. Well, the sunlight, the energies could be different. And this is how Srila Prabhupada ji has explained. And then Chaitanya Charana Prabhuji went into further to explain it. Right. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. How could the sunlight be different falling on you and falling on me, for example?
Yes. So it's like this, Mataji. If you see the fire is there in the middle, it's the same fire. But let's say if you and me, we are sitting opposite the fire. Now, from the same fire, heat energy is coming out. The heat which is coming towards you is different than the heat which is coming towards me. So if you think about, the same fire is there, but still the heat energy coming from there is different. Similarly, if the sun is shining, it could be that the same sun, the sunlight which is falling on you is different than the sunlight falling on me. The same sun, but the sunlight is different. The sunlight, this is what we say, the localized one.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Very well. So, great. Now, we went through and we saw what's logical, irrational, unreasonable, faulty, and we have seen some of the previous examples as well. So I'm just fleshing this through. Now, the word being used is translogical. We need to be translogical. So Krishna is translogical, which means beyond our logical. So we say a doctor will come and doctor will say, we want to cut off your hand. Right? And no one will accept that. But of course, when the doctor will explain that if you won't cut this hand off, then the poison will get into the rest of the body. And then it makes sense to take that off. And there are many more examples like this where we can think that something is, when we just hear something as an abstract without any context, it might not make sense. But when we have the context around us, then indeed it makes sense to us. So the context has been explained to us by the acharyas. And this is what we call paradox. The sentence on the right is false. And then when we go on the right-hand side, it says the sentence on left is true. And now it's very hard for us to understand which sentence is false, which sentence is true. And this is what we call self-contradictory statement. Now, in Shastras, whatever I have read, there are lots and lots of places where it's not that the statements are self-contradictory, but the statements appear to be self-contradictory. Appear means that because we have not read everything, we have just seen a bit, so we will not understand the context, because a lot of places, half of the story given at one place and the rest of the half is given somewhere else. So our Puranas, they are full of stories, and not everywhere the full story is given. So maybe at one place, the father is telling the child about the grandfather. And maybe somewhere else, the child who is a father now, he's telling about his father, but he's not telling about his grandfather. So when we read both places, then it makes sense that, all right, there were 3 or 4 generations together. But if we just read one very, very, very abstract without any context, then it's hard for us to understand. So we have seen the paradox and oxymorons as well. And this is how we summarized mantra 5. Near and far, walk and not able to walk, inside and outside, here and everywhere. If you see all of these, they are like paradox. They are like oxymorons. So we need to think of that in that terms. We went through and we saw the deities, and this is where we leave now, with a beautiful face of Krishna, and we shall resume back. So sorry to cut short today. I need to join another meeting to introduce Maharaji and lead there a bit. But thank you so much for your association today. I look forward for your association next Saturday, 9:30, and we shall conclude mantra 5 then there. Sorry, I rushed a bit today. But
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, Mataji. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Gurudev Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.